glad to see you all here today. Welcome, welcome. I want to take a quick minute and just thank Stuart and Melody and the whole team for getting the lunch together. It was delicious and wonderful. Thank you all for that. And now I have the really tough job. I guess I get to introduce Doc, our new director of music. We did a nationwide search. We're delighted he is here. And the funny thing is sometimes you find the best folks literally in the backyard. Doc has been working for a number of years with Temple Sinai, with Beth Schafer, who is also here today. And we're just delighted that he is starting his ministry with us. I think you will find that he is an amazingly gifted musician, but even more, just a great human being. So we're glad to have you here, Doc. Welcome, and without further ado, we'll start.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? So, if you didn't know, organists wear special shoes to play the organ. And so, I don't like to walk around in them. They're not super comfortable for walking around. So, I'll change into them now as we chat a little bit. So, one of the stars of today's program is the organ. New Church, Holy Innocents is so lucky to have this wonderful instrument. And, it's one of humanity's oldest instruments. The piano was really invented in 1709 and really reached its current state of development in the 19th century. Does anybody have any idea how old the organ is, when the first organ was invented and by whom? No? Okay, somebody just toss out a year. 1100, did I hear that? Much earlier than 1100. 300? 800, much earlier. It's like the Price is Right. Keep going. 100 BC, even earlier. It was invented between 300 and 250 BC by a man named Spacious of Alexandria. We know this, right? This is fact. It was called the hydraulis, and the word hydra means what? Water, right. And so it was a water-powered instrument. And air was kept under pressure with this water-powered system. Somebody had to use a hand pump, and hydraulic pressure kept the air under pressure, and you could press a little key, and the air would go up through the pipe and work. Much like these pipes work today. We have ruins from an actual instrument. From them we have descriptions in ancient writings of the instrument. It was used at gladiator contests, at banquets, but primarily actually in the home. So anyway, as we are gathering to celebrate the history of our country, I think it's appropriate that we do so with one of the most ancient instruments that is around today. So, would you please all stand and join me in the singing of the national anthem? And if you need the words, they're in the hymnal there for you. So when we hear the word patriot, we often think of soldiers or statesmen or historical figures, and certainly they deserve our gratitude. But patriots are also people who use their gifts to make our country better. Teachers, artists, scientists, clergy, volunteers, musicians. And one of our Episcopalian patriots was the great American composer Calvin Hampton. Many of you know his work through the hymnal 1982. He wrote the beautiful There's a Wideness in God's Mercy, which I think you all sang just a few weeks ago. It's one of my favorite hymns in the hymnal. In fact, Barry and I had that at our wedding just a few weeks ago. His music continues to enrich worship across our church. He was a brilliant composer, organist, and church musician whose influences still felt decades after his untimely death in 1984. This piece that I'm about to play from you is from his collection of 5 dances. It's called Those Americans, and it's built on an ostinato, which is a repeated musical pattern that to me kind of represents the waving of a flag. It is undoubtedly American in its imagery that it conjures, so I hope you enjoy it. Listening to music like that always reminds me of where my own musical journey began. Next year marks my 50th year as a church musician. I was blessed to be born into a large musical family. My first teacher was my eldest sister, whose name is Lala. And before I ever sat at an organ console, she and other family members taught me that music was something to be shared. We constantly gathered around the piano in my home. They taught me, simple duets like Chopsticks and Heart and Soul and things like that. My first public performance was when I was 2 years old at a church coffee house where I stood on a chair so that I could reach the microphone and sang Hey Jude by the Beatles. I'm sure it was precious. I can't imagine, though, what it must have sounded like. And then when I was 4, I started begging for piano lessons and also began picking out tunes that I had heard at church. The first tune I really remember playing was Kumbaya. And our family had a chord organ as well as a piano, and I just spent countless hours playing both of those instruments before I ever had a lesson. And when I was 6, my sister Lala gave me a year of piano lessons as a Christmas present. One of the first pieces I ever learned was a little song called I Saw a Bunny. It's a simple tune, but every musician has a beginning, and this was mine. I saw a bunny in the snow, hop, hop, hop. He seemed to know just where to go, hop, hop, hop. I didn't want to frighten him, so I kept very still and watched him as he hopped along up the hill. So that song also reminds me of another memory. In 1976, during our nation's bicentennial, our church choir presented a bicentennial program, and they took it to several different churches and schools and things around the area. And my sister was the accompanist, and at that age, I was her page turner. But there was one piece where I think it had like maybe a piccolo part or something at the top that she couldn't play because she was playing, the accompaniment, the piano part. And so I got to actually play a few notes on that program when I was 10. And I actually have a copy of that printed program in my scrapbook, where in green magic marker I wrote, I played notes on this one. I was so proud. So now, as we move into these familiar American songs, I want you to think about your own musical beginnings and the people who encouraged you along the way. So please join us in singing. Beth, you want to come up and join us? My dear friend, Beth Schafer from Temple Sinai. As Bill said, Beth and I have been working together now for 5 years, something like that. And it is just such a joy to make music with her in her home, just around the corner. And I thought it was just so appropriate to invite her here for the first opportunity to make music in my new musical home. So here we go. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roved and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is mine. California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. My country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture thrills like that above. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom's song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. Our fathers' God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God our King. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. So I love that tune, right? It's such a beautiful melody. But a few years ago, I was inspired in a moment to write a new melody for that text. And so Beth and I are going to share that with you now. I don't compose a lot of music. Composition is not my primary activity, but every once in a while I'll have a need or a desire to write something. And most of the times, I know that I'm writing it, right? Like my brain is choosing the next notes or whatever. This piece did not come to me that way. I remember reading Robert Schumann, the great Viennese composer. I think he was Viennese. Talking about finding melodies. Well, this melody found me, and it was in my head, fully composed from beginning to end before I knew what had happened. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to run inside and write this down before I forget it. And so this is the result. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet who stood in passion distress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, that more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, God mend thine every, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that see beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. And our next song is one of Beth's compositions. Last week we were doing a temple service together, and this was included. And I was like, hey, that would be perfect on my Patriotic program for next week. So, Children of Freedom.
Thanks for having me, everybody. It's always nice to be able to visit my neighbor. It's nice that you started out with "Won't You Be My Neighbor." The chorus to this is super easy, and it comes around a few times. So if it sticks with you, you're always invited to sing along. Delivered on shore, still with sand in our shoes. Homeward bound, survivors in spirit with nothing to lose. We have found a land of life, children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. Living the hope of American dreams, we rejoice. We honor the struggle that's our history. Hear our voice, our prayer, our song. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes. We look back on Sinai to the roots of our tree. We look back on Philly and the branches we see are fruited with olives but yield apple pie. A harvest of peace at our tables of pride. Na, 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 na. Children of freedom sing. Children of freedom sing that freedom must always ring. Children of freedom rise, repairing the world through freedom's eyes.
Music has often given voice to the deepest hopes.
I might be the only one to say this, maybe the first, the last, and the only, to wish you mazel tov on your new addition to your staff. You really, really picked a gem. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, Beth. Music has often given voice to the deepest hopes of the American people. During the Civil Rights Movement, songs became instruments of courage, unity, and nonviolent resistance. Musicians, singers, clergy, and ordinary citizens joined their voices together in the pursuit of justice and equality. The story of American music would be incomplete without acknowledging the extraordinary contributions of African American composers, performers, and church musicians. Their influence is woven into virtually every American musical tradition, from spirituals and gospel music to jazz, classical music, Broadway, and popular song. We should also remember that America's musical heritage has been enriched by people of many backgrounds, including immigrants, religious minorities, and LGBTQ+ artists whose gifts have shaped our nation's culture, often in times when they themselves were not fully welcomed. Lift Every Voice and Sing, written by the poet James Weldon Johnson and his brother, John Rosman Johnson, who studied at the New England Conservatory, has become known as the Black National Anthem. They wrote it in 1905. It is both a song of remembrance and a song of hope. Let's sing it together. It's in our hymnal number 599. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties with my iPad. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I don't know what that means. Okay, here we go. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the breath that the dark has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chasing rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last. With which our pair is cast. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. close with one of the defining songs of the civil rights movement. We Shall Overcome became a declaration of faith, perseverance, and hope, sung in churches, schools, meeting halls, and on the streets. It reminded people that progress is possible when we walk together. In many ways, that message captures the spirit of today's program. Patriotism is not simply love of country. It is a commitment to helping our country become its best self. Through music, generation after generation of Americans have shared that hope. Thank you so much for being part of this celebration today, and I hope you enjoy the Toccata on We Shall Overcome.
So now maybe you realize why the committee was unanimous in suggesting that Doc become our next director of music. We're thrilled on the staff. He's already brought good energy to us and in us, and so we're delighted. I heard some sounds I hadn't heard out of this organ yet, so I'm looking forward to what's next. We have one more Sunday with Randy this Sunday, so we hope you'll come and sing God of Our Fathers and help us as Maddie Hamill's granddaughter gets baptized. And then you'll be at the organ bench the Sunday after that. We'll sing a little Patriotic then as well. And tell your friends that didn't just hear that postlude. I think you're going to give it one more time on your first Sunday. So tell other people to come because that's the day. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here. Happy 4th.